Okay, guys, here we are, hole 6. And my last video, I did get it up here to long iron range. I'm going to kind of lay it back intentionally this time. We're going to try to stay towards sniper distance because I want you to at least have both shots and know about them both. I think, personally, this is a tough wind angle, so it's very tough to judge. I think really getting it to sniper min might actually make this shot easier. Going less rings, in my opinion, is easier than going more rings. And at max long iron, I went over that shot and how many rings I had to go. I think it's going to be a tougher shot. You can see that my opponent here, he's going to be long iron. He drove it too far. So what we're going to do is we're going to intentionally lay back. And I just want to kind of talk about this shot here. And I also want to just kind of make note for everybody that it really doesn't take a lot to get up to where you need. So it looks like this has sniper on the bag. We're just going to go rock because I'm pretty sure we can. So I might even back off the power a little bit. So you'll see that I'm just going to kind of maybe put it up in here with a much, not power, but top spin. So taking off the top spin here. Thinking somewhere around here, 7 rings. And we're really not going to do much here, as you can see. I'm just keeping it at the max line. A little bit off the, oh man, that's close to being too far too, I bet. So, be interesting to see. I think I kept it in the zone, but we'll just have to see. If I didn't, I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll just have to see. You can see that, you really don't got to keep it. You don't got to give it that much. Here, this is going to be a perfect example. So I started at +7. My opponent's at +1. I think 7 rings here is going to be too much. So he just went 6.7. That looks pretty good. That sounds pretty good. It looks like, it's tough to visually tell, but it looks like he went about 6.7 rings, which I think is going to be pretty darn close given my shot. It's a little bit low. So it might have been into the 7s there, almost 1-to-1. I'm surprised by that because I thought mine was almost 1-to-1. And I was at the +7 for my start. Oh no, this is perfect. I could maybe go just a little bit farther. So you can see I have plenty of room to work with here. And one of the main reasons that I like this shot, so for starters, we're going to put it on the hole, but I need to play less wind effect and also less rings. So you can see I'm not quite at the min line. For the min line, I would probably only go about 5 rings here. But since I'm not at the min line, I'm going to need to go a little bit more. So I'm going to go maybe 5.5 rings. So that's right around 5.5. That's one of the reasons that I like this shot. Is because you can go less adjustment. There's kind of like more wind effect to kind of resist the ball. So with that in mind, and even that looks like too many rings. That's what I'm telling you. So right around 5 rings. It also just came up just a little bit short. The fact that I can go so little rings makes it more holeable in my opinion, because there's less wind effect. The ball stays lower out of the wind, which is a good thing. And when we get small winds like that, I only needed to go, 5 rings there, maybe even 4.9. So even that was 1.5. There's a chance the min line is more like 1.7 per ring. That's how little you have to go there. And the one thing that you'll want to do is maybe, since we are pulling down the lower ground, you can see the ball landed a little bit short. So we're going to have to pull our rings at either an angle, or you need to keep that ball guide through the hole a little bit more than I did, because we're pulling our rings to lower ground, so the ball's actually landing short of the target line. So because of that fact, you can see I came up a yard short. So I either need to keep that ball guide through the whole yard, or I'll need to play my wind at kind of just a slightly angle to where I'm pulling my rings more to the left, down to the left, to kind of add that distance back on. So keep either of those tricks in mind and make sure that you're very consistent with your ring play. Other than that, I think, one of these two methods, whether you want to go back to my other video and see the long iron, or the sniper. I think there's advantages to either or. Best thing I can give you as advice is just be consistent with what you do. If you're shooting for a specific yardage, that's what I recommend, is just try to get to the same spot and replicate that same shot off the tee each and every time. Good luck, and I'll see you guys on the next one.